Welcome to this month's Connect the Dots, an industry intelligence production. I'm your host, Katherine Diaz. Today's topic is, man, do we humans love our pets? The answer is a real treat. Do you have a pet or know someone who does and dotes on them like they were their own child? Chances are you do. The pet care market has been booming during the past few years. In 2020, pet industry sales exceeded $100 billion for the first time ever, according to the American Pet Products Association. And we all remember what happened in 2020. The pandemic and its lockdowns led to many people feeling isolated and having time on their hands. A lot of people's answer was heading to find a Fido. By 2020, 54% of U.S. households owned at least one dog, compared to 50% just 2 years before. We humans count on our furry friends being there for us when we're feeling stressed. And during the pandemic, mandatory remote work, layoffs, and the stress of all the changes caused people to spend more time bonding with their pets. Many people also took a deeper look at how exactly they were treating them, which led to more demand for pet services and products. The veterinary industry was raking in over $31 billion in sales in 2020 and grew 7% that year. On top of veterinary care, consumers spent $22 billion buying pets and pet care supplies, which led to growth of 15% for the pet care industry. In fact, the only area to see a decline in sales was in the service segment. Service sales for pet grooming, dog walking, and boarding were down by over 21% during the first pandemic year. And that makes sense. With all the spare time at home, pet owners probably took those matters into their own hands. The demand for more pet services and products lends itself to a trend that's called pet humanization. This is the perspective where owners treat pets as part of their own families and look for the same standards of living that humans have for themselves and their loved ones. You can see this trend through the adoption of clothes for dogs or the term pet parent. It's a global movement too. In France, dogs are allowed in and even catered to at restaurants and cafes. And in Japan, architects have designed homes featuring stepping stone shelves for cats to saunter in and out of rooms through small openings. Sales in household and pet care in the Asia-Pacific market are set to grow 37% to $384 billion by 2023, while North American sales will grow to $281 billion, according to e-commerce research firm Edge by Essential. Pet humanization is not a new trend, but pet owners' newfound appreciation for their furry coworkers/roommates definitely accelerated its development. At the recently held Global Pet Expo in Orlando, Florida, data technology company Spins got a first-hand look at the up-and-coming trends of the pet industry, which all point to the pet humanization we were just talking about. Spins noted the rise of human-grade ingredients in more and more pet food, treats, and chews. Brands are also putting an increased focus on certifications and label claims of being free of GMOs or having sustainably sourced packaging and ingredients. Being green packs a punch, especially as more and more consumers are taking note of climate change and the impact that consumerism has on the environment. This environmental focus is also a big driver of the surge of insect protein in cat and dog food. Sustainable pet food startup Neobites says that in the U.S., cats and dogs consume more meat than the entire human population of China. Wow! And we know that China has a lot of people. Another interesting tidbit is that meat consumption by pets accounts for 25 to 30% of the entire environmental impact of domestic meat production. That's 25% of global greenhouse gases right there. So brands like Neobites and Jiminy's use insects such as crickets and grubs as protein in their pet food products to reduce emissions and resources needed, such as water and feed. Insect protein creates a smaller environmental footprint compared to using beef or chicken in pet food. Pet product companies are also taking advantage of the social media crazed world we live in by creating products in fun and recognizable forms. Take Best Bud Brews, for example. It's a brew for your best bud. Your best bud being your dog, of course. But the brew is a beef bone marrow broth that comes in a bottle form, so you can replicate the experience of sharing a toast with your terrier, while still giving them something meant for them. The Best Bud Brews company also has hemp options to help dogs with anxiety, inflammation, or pain. Which brings us to another trend sweeping the market, CBD. Cannabis in itself is a growing market on the human side, and many pet owners want to share its benefits with their pets in the form of CBD, which is the non-psychoactive compound from the cannabis plant, and it's being added to a lot of pet care products to address issues like the ones just mentioned. To sum it up, consumer demand and the continuation of pet humanization is leading to more transparency, higher standards, and innovation worldwide. And it's still growing. The pet care market is expected to see a growth rate of 7.4% between 2022 and 2027, according to researchandmarkets.com. Can you think of ways this growth could directly or indirectly impact your business? That's it for today. I'm Katherine Diaz with Industry Intelligence. We help you better understand your industry's challenges. Check out our website at www.industryintel.com and visit our blog and podcast to keep up with the latest insights into the markets that matter to you. Also, don't forget to give us a call and ask about Microsoft Teams integration for you and your business to keep all the information on hand and on tab. Have a great day and keep the dots connected.